Take a minute, y'all. Take a minute. Take a minute to just breathe in. Take a minute to just exhale. And on that exhale, I want y'all to just release whatever no longer serves you. And I want you to inhale what you guys desire more, what you guys want more in your guys' life. I want you guys to close your guys' eyes. I want you guys to tell me what you guys see right away. Right? It may just be darkness, but I want you guys to understand that darkness is where everything resides from, and that there's duality to everything and everyone. So tap more into that dark energy to allow you guys to create. And I want you guys to picture something, right? I want you guys to picture something and, picture your guys' mom, picture your guys' dad. And I say picture because when you guys think of your mom, it doesn't say MOM, right? It's literally a picture of your mom, right? In your guys' head. It's literally a picture of your family. It's not, FAMILY. All right, so I want you guys to close your guys' eyes and see these things. And I want you guys to see that as you guys start to imagine these things and think of these things, light sparks. Right? I want you guys to understand that everything comes from the darkness, and then the light is sparked, and the light is what helps create and alter our consciousness. It helps alter our reality. So I want you guys to get more in tune with just visualizing every day, get more in tune with just breathing daily, intentional breathing, intentional breath work. And we're going to get right into it. But before we do, go ahead and flood the chat with what you guys are all grateful for. What are you guys grateful for today? Because in order tomorrow to attract life's comings, you must be in a state of gratitude. A lot of people are expecting things to change, wanting change without making change, and always complaining, always in a state of why me, always in a state of low vibrations, low frequencies. But we got to get in tune with those higher frequencies, with the higher road, with the levels of ascension. And how do we get in tune with those levels? By gratitude. What do you have now? What are you aware of now? What are you grateful now? Because I'll tell you guys this much, there's nowhere to go, there's nothing to become but where you're at and who you are now. That person you want to become, you're that already. Like I said, close your eyes and see it. Start walking like that person. Start talking like that person. Now breathe it all in and exhale. We're going to take one more breath. I want you to breathe in as deep as you guys can. Deepest breath of the day. Breathe in a little more. Now let it go. All right, man, let's get to it. Grateful to be alive. Grateful for God, especially this week. Yes, most definitely every week, every day. Grateful to be alive. I resonate. Even with there being a storm out here and all throughout down south, make sure to send love to your peoples out here, as they prepare for it, and they've been going through it. But let's hop right into it. Let me turn this down a little bit. And me, man, I'm grateful for y'all. I'm grateful for the now. I'm grateful for the here. I'm grateful for, all that's been transpiring. So let's hop right into today's information. Thank you all for joining in. Let's see who's live here on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. We live on all platforms. So share this out with anybody that may be new to consumer law, that may be looking to get in the credit space, because we're going to dive right into it without further ado. Grateful to be here. James, hit my line, bro. Hit my line. I'm about to be out in Virginia. I definitely want to connect with you while I'm there. So we're going to hop into the 1960s. President of the United States that had been assassinated way back when. And I want to go ahead and share with you guys, I say way back when, but it really wasn't that long ago, a message, in a speech that he had put together, a special message to Congress on protecting consumer interest, and how I mentioned before, as to the assassination of him and how he was educating people on consumer law, on the rights that we possess as consumers within this corporation. What corporation am I referring to? I'm referring to the United States Corporation. Like I mentioned, in the Act of 1871, the United States became a federal corporation, and it, became incorporated, just like, the UK, just like, New Zealand, just like Brazil, right? Just like many of these corporations out there, we think of them as just free sovereign countries and, land, but they're all incorporated, right? There is, land that is sovereign, and there is lands, where there's a republic, and where that republic, was started, once again as being free, but then they became incorporated. They incorporated the land in each state and boundary line within that land, to where now, the republic doesn't really hold any weight. And when you guys are going to courts, you guys aren't going to the, courts of the republic. You guys are going to the state courts, which are, corporations. And so I'm going to show you guys and take you guys through a little journey back into 1962. So this is a message from President John F. Kennedy. So I've sent the Congress today a special message on protecting the consumer interest. All of us are consumers. So I want y'all to understand that very clearly. All of us are consumers. So we're going to dive here into Title 15, Commerce and Trade. So if we scroll down here, we're going to go into Chapter 41, which is the Consumer Credit Protection Act. I want you guys to understand that ever since 1933, since they took us off the gold standard, and ever since 1936, when they created the Social Security Act, there is no money, and everything is credited by our credit card. Our credit card is our Social Security card. Our Social Security card was created by the Social Security Administration in 1936 to create collateral for the debt of the United States. Right? They were already trillions of dollars in debt way back when. And it's only continued to build and grow since then. And if you guys look at the U.S. debt clock, you guys will see that is growing day by day. I want you guys to understand that they're indebted not to these other countries, but to we, the people. So we're going to hop right into Chapter 41. Now we're going to continue to go ahead and look at this speech. I wanted to show you guys really quick the title of this and how it's called the Consumer Credit Protection Act. I want you guys to get clear as to how we are consumers and how everything is credit. All of us deserve the right to be protected against fraudulent or misleading advertisements and labels. So I want you guys to really think as to why the moment you guys turn 18, as to why we're being advertised that we've been approved for X amount of credit cards, that we've been sent these things by the military as to apply for them, and they all require and ask of our Social Security number. All of these are false and misleading advertisements and labels, right? And I want you guys, and we're going to dive even deeper into higher level consciousness and higher level thinking today. So just stay open, keep your mind open. Once again, if you guys are just tuning in, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this with other individuals as well too that are also on this frequency and vibration. And those that are, I believe, are always and have always been driven to this channel and my channel. And there's many people that teach consumer law out there, but I feel as if the right people are in tune with this information and my teachings. And that's why I'm grateful for the community we've built, and that's why I've been giving back to you guys. And I'm going on tour, and I'm on tour right now currently, still out in Atlanta. I had to cancel North Carolina and Orlando, but I will be out in Tampa this Saturday. So make sure to purchase your tickets with the Eventbrite. If you guys don't have access to the Eventbrite, simply text our business number at 305-575-2843. So let's hop right back into it. So the right to be protected against unsafe or worthless drugs and other products, the rights to choose from a variety of products at competent rates or at competitive prices But modern living is so complex that present laws on the statute books are inadequate to secure these laws. That's why, I've been inserting more within my letters, case law studies, to be able to help our clients be able to get the results even more in depth. So thousands of common household items contain potentially contain potentially very harmful substances, right? I want you guys to start looking into our food, the fact that they've approved lab made meats, right? Y'all ask as to why I've been plant-based for the past 4 years, and I don't push plant-based upon anybody, but I simply, and even being plant-based, the GMO fruits and vegetables. So even with that being said, I shop more local. I shop with, local farmers, as I'm traveling. Granted, there's those times where, we have what's accessible to us. And so it's vital to fast. It's vital to drink, tons of water. It's vital to allow your water to take in the sun. It's vital to, make sure you're drinking and taking in these herbs that are, cleansing yourself from these heavy metals in these foods and in the water, like spirulina, which is cleansing the blood, right? Like chlorophyll, right? And taking the essential herbs that we need, like shilajit, like sea moss, like burdock root, right? All of these things. And these are things in which, once again, I implement and I practice within my life, and that I don't always share with you guys, but that are vital to, us vibrating at higher frequencies and getting in tune with, our higher self. And so, unless the housewife is an expert in starting to garden more, gardening, gardening is essential. It's something that in which our people, and specifically my people being Pueblo, lived off of. And, without gardening, we wouldn't be here at present day. And, we, took very much pride in the fact that we, were farmers and gardening and, and gave back to the land what it gives to us. And so it's why I always make sure to pay homage and give thanks to Mother Earth, for all that is ever providing and, giving to us, because without the offerings of Mother Earth, we simply would not be here. So make sure to always give back. Make sure to always take care of Mother Earth. And so this administration has already taken steps to increase federal and corporate inspections on foods and drugs, pesticides, meat, and this is in the 1960s, to increase safety in the airways and on the highways, to cut back on the deceptive trade practices, false advertisement. Why are we talking about trade and interstate commerce? And I'm going to take you guys back to Title 15, right? Title 15 is commerce and trade, right? So trade, right? Trade practices, deceptive trade practices, false advertising, monopolies, and high utility bills to improve the consumer's opportunity to purchase a less expensive home and enjoy greater recreation opportunities. But much more needs to be done. And I have asked the Congress, first of all, for strengthened regulatory authority over foods, drugs, and cosmetics, especially the drugs, right? The pharmaceuticals. That's one of the biggest, if not the biggest industry in the whole world, right? And it's killing millions every single year, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of individuals every single year, every single day. Individuals are dying from the pharmaceuticals. And this video might be flagged, honestly, and that's why the views aren't up there. But we're going to keep at it, man. We're going to keep doing it. So let's do our part. Make sure we're sharing, so that the word can get out, because, we're not holding back on any information today. So it is a time we gave men, women, and children the same protections. New drugs are being placed on the market every day without any requirement of advanced proof that they would be effective in treating the conditions for which they are recommended. Most of them are, only making matters worse. Over 20% of the new drugs available since 1956 were found to be incapable of bearing out one or more of the sponsors' claims on their effect would be. This means that people are not only wasting their money, but suffering needlessly. Similarly, $2 billion worth of cosmetics are sold every year without any requirements that they are being tested for safety. As a result, women, y'all are too beautiful. Stay natural. Y'all don't even know what y'all are putting in and on your guys' body. Even the topicals and the creams and all of that stuff, right? There's oils and there's things of Mother Earth that give us everything, in which any of these cosmetic companies are out here selling you guys, right? Go look up, things that will, and this is what I've done. I only put oils on my face. I only put different oils at different times in my hair. Castor oil, jojoba, however you say it, oil. I'm about to make this toothpaste, and it's got coconut oil and this other stuff. I forget these other plants, but yeah, we have everything and more that we need, within. All of these problems are covered by the recommendations to the Congress. Today, I'm kind of skimming through it. I'm not going to read through this whole thing. It's just in story time. We're not going to be here all day. And at what rate, when they are purchased goods on credit or the installment plan, a law to require new television sets to be capable of receiving blah, blah, blah. None of these recommendations are very costly, but I believe they can immensely be important to the well-being of every American family. So I'm going to drop this link for you guys, for those that are in the Discord channel in our public community. I'm going to go ahead and share this with each and every single one of you guys so that you guys all have this, and this will be dropped in Sauce with Gotti. So make sure y'all tuned in. I'm going to go ahead and share this live as well, too, with other individuals that are in the Discord. That's what I didn't do. That's a good live I'm about to check out. I'll drop this live for y'all, or this video as well too, for y'all. I've only watched like 2 minutes of it and I've already liked it. So let's see. Mami. Oh, y'all been active in the Discord. Okay. I love it. I'm just seeing right now. All right, I'll get to y'all very soon. All right. So now I want to take you guys here to another article. So that article was great. Those that are in the Discord will get access to it. So this is a special message to Congress on protecting the consumer interest, right? Consumers, by definition, include us all, by definition. They are the greatest economical group in the economy, affecting and affected by the most every public and private economic decision. That's why I talk about, there's regulators in place to protect us consumers. And anything with the .gov as a consumer is your friend, and they're there to protect you. You just got to simply understand the rights that you possess and stand on them and exercise them and put them in practice. Put these corporations on notice. Right? 2/3 of all spending in the economy is by consumers. Without us, there would be no economy. Right? Understand that we keep this whole system running. Understand that without us, if we took all of our money out of the banks, the banking system would simply collapse. Right? We're the ones who keep this whole banking system fluctuating and flowing. I'm going to move the camera here so y'all can see. All right. So we keep this whole system flowing. The federal government, by nature, the highest spokesman of the people, has special obligations to be alert to the consumer's needs and to advance the consumer's interests. Dang, Gotti, you might actually know a thing or two. The things you're telling us might actually be true. All right. Let's see. Ever since legislation was enacted in 1872, which is what? The year after the Act of 1871, which the United States became federally incorporated. Sheesh, Gotti. To protect the consumers from frauds involving the use of the U.S. mail, the Congress and executive branch have been increasingly aware of their responsibilities to make certain that our nation's economy fairly and adequately serves consumers' interests. In the main, it has served them extremely well. Each succeeding generation has enjoyed higher income and a greater variety of goods and services. As a result of our standard of living is the highest in the world, and in less than 20 years, it should rise in an additional 50%, which is only done so. And this was in the 1960s. So y'all can only imagine, 60 years later. Fortunate as we are, we nevertheless cannot afford waste in consumption any more than we can afford inefficiency in business or government. If consumers are offered inferior products, if prices are exorbitant, if drugs are unsafe or worthless, which they're very worthless and very unsafe, I never have taken a pharmaceutical, nor will I ever take anything into my body, never. And I'm not judging nor here to promote or to let y'all know what you should do or what you shouldn't do. But if these individuals are already killing, millions with their practices and with the things that they're giving them, just think about after birth, they feed you garbage in the hospitals. And think of like our healing centers, quote unquote healing centers, hospitals, right? They're not real healing centers. They're giving you microplastics and they're giving you everything in there GMO and fake. And, let's be real. And so I need y'all to understand that we got to take matters upon ourselves and we got to start doing the research. We got to start doing the inner work. We got to start, getting in tune with ourselves, getting more in tune with nature, and yeah, there's a whole lot, but let's see. If the consumer is unable to choose, I don't want y'all to be like, yo, no, I don't even care what y'all think. Let's see. The march of technology affecting, for example, the foods we eat, the medicines we take, and the many appliances we use in our homes has increased the difficulties of consumers along with the opportunities, and it has outmoded many of the old laws and the regulations and made new legislation necessary. The typical supermarket before World War II stocked about 1,500 separate food items, an impressive figure by any standard, but today it carries over 6,000. 90% of the prescriptions written today are for drugs that were unknown 20 years ago. It's very scary, even common day. Even common day, what's in a lot of them are many of the drugs in which are abandoned on the streets, and killing people every single day. And y'all know what I'm referring to, but yet they're in there, but they give it the amount to where it's not going to kill you, but it's still harming you. Like, nobody should be taking in these things, these chemical compounds. It's sickening. It's sick, right? They say they don't have a cure for this, that, and the third, but yet they kill off all of those that do come and state that they do and have proven and beaten them in federal courts. All right, we can't talk too heavy on this though. Let me see what we talking about here on Instagram. Peace and love to everybody tuning in on the gram. All right, so let's get to it. Let's see. The housewife upon to be a matured. Okay, blah. Marketing is increased in personal consumer choices influenced by the mass advertising, utilizing highly developed arts of persuasion. Many of y'all are so far stuck into the system that y'all can't even think, for self. But we got to start getting in tune with our thoughts. We got to start, actually understanding how we've been programmed. We got to unprogram ourselves and reprogram ourselves. You got to really forget everything you've been taught, because if nobody's told you, I'll be the first to tell you. Just about everything in your life is an illusion. The things you've been taught, the history you've been taught, it's fake history, not true history, So y'all got to start getting in tune with and doing more self-research, doing more self-work, right? Spirit will guide you to the truths, and it always does. So let's see. Nearly all of the programs offered by this administration, the expansion of the world trade, the improvement of medical care, the reduction of passenger taxes, the strengthening of mass transit, the development of conversation and reaction areas and low cost power are of direct or inherent importance to consumers. Additional legislation and administration action is required. However, if the federal government is to meet the responsibilities it to consumers in the exercise of rights. These rights include the right to safety, to be protected against the marketing of the goods which are hazardous to health or life. We're talking about life or death. That's why we talk about a grave responsibility to report fairly or accurately in the Fair Credit Reporting Act. What do you mean? What are you talking about? What am I talking about, man? What am I talking about? There is a need to exercise a grave responsibility with fairness, impartiality, and respect for the consumer's right to privacy. The banking system is dependent. Think about something being dependent upon something. That means it cannot live without it. A baby is dependent upon his mother's breast milk and food and water and the essentials of life. All right, and that breast milk, that formula, stop giving your babies that, please. Y'all can dry up your own milk and create your own powder. Understand what it's really doing. This is poison. What they're selling you and your babies. My baby can never. I don't have a baby though. But when that time comes, the right to be informed, to be protected against fraudulent, deceptive, or grossly misleading information, advertising, labeling, or other practices. We getting into it, y'all. We getting into it, man. Any questions? Drop some questions. Let's see. I see we got some questions. History is his story. What's your story? That part. We blessed. We highly blessed, highly favored. Just going through a speech that was given by former President John F. Kennedy. And this just goes to show as to how all of these parties are all puppets. He was actually, and there are those, which are actually, for the people and good. And, they're going to make them seem, though, as if they're, this evil, demonic, and belittling and just bad person. But those that will follow their puppet ways, they're going to immortalize and, put on a pedestal and, claim as the first this president, and claim right? Like, let's be real. The first blank president was not something to be proud of. Let's be real. Like, this past president, all of it, it's bad. This election as a whole is a joke. But man, y'all can see for yourself. And once you start opening up your eyes to the world, y'all will see the illusion that's being created right in front of your guys' face. And that's the thing. They put it right in front of your face. Even forget it. Let's hop into it, man. The right to be informed, to protect against fraudulent, deceitful, or grossly misleading information. Let me stop right there. Let me take y'all here. Let's go back to chapter 41. Let's look at the debt collection practices. Let's look at false or misleading representation. Why are we talking about false or misleading representation in the FDCPA dealing with debt? Why are we talking about there being in the congressional findings? This is what Congress found when they passed the FDCPA. And this was what? 1977. We're talking right now in the articles in 1960s. So this was just, a decade later. This is what the push and the practice is, that, JFK was pushing for. This is what MLK was marching about, right? These are things that high influential leaders in which they assassinated, were all preaching and teaching the people. And, we've somehow gotten away from it. But, I'm here, on a mission to help empower my people. I'm here on a mission to show my people, that we are the power, that the power has always been in our hands, that there's no power in protesting. The power comes in knowing your laws. The power comes in knowing, scripture. The power comes in, I'm not telling you to be religious at all. I'm the last person to tell you to be religious. The last person. But I'm here to tell you guys to start reading more, to start doing the self-work, to start understanding that I found a good ebook on Title 15 earlier. I would love it. I'm telling you guys just to start doing the work, to start doing the practices, to start thinking more for yourself, to stop relying so much on this system that has enslaved you guys mentally. Yes, there are not physical slaves anymore. Even then, there really still is. That the rat race, man. And you just continue to go through the cycle. And I'm not against working at all. I'd be the last to tell you such. I come from a working home. Both my father and stepfather provided by doing such. But what I am for is for you guys to go out and learn different ways on how to make money for yourselves, on how to create something that is going to outlast each and every single one of you guys. What I'm looking to build, outside of this, and this isn't even, what you guys are seeing is nothing compared to what I'm really creating to give back to my people, the land that I'm acquiring, that I've already acquired, the real estate, essentially the portfolio that we're building right now. We just got land in the portfolio, but the portfolio that we're building and something tangible, something that we're able to put our hands on, the gold, the silver, things that we're able to actually pass on and that will actually carry on into the next life, of my grandchildren, my kids and their kids, and my grandchildren's kids and their grandchildren. And, this is things in which should be remembered upon forever and for decades, and that we all must get in tune with and start thinking bigger, much faster, because y'all see day by day, week by week, things are passing us by. Time is, passing us by. Time is slipping, and the things that you're putting into your body is only quickening up that process. So it's time to start, getting more in tune with what really matters, getting more in tune with your breath, what you're grateful for, thinking for yourself, doing more for yourself, loving on yourself more. The more self-love that we all have, the more love that we can offer for the world. Because I'll tell you guys, your problems are minuscule to the real problems that are out there in this world. The children, right? I love seeing and going around the world, and gives you another appreciation for life, man. Because I'll tell y'all firsthand, man, what y'all are going through, what we go through here in America, ain't nothing. Y'all should be grateful. And that's why I say, and even them, they're grateful. That's why I say there's so much to be grateful for. So much. So much. Yeah, most definitely. Go ahead and email it to us. Thank you, brother. I'm going to just drop that in the Discord. Fire, fire, fire. So let's keep reading through here a little bit more. So I stopped after fraudulent, deceptive. Okay, so why I mentioned that? Because there's abundant evidence of the use of abusive, deceptive, and unfair debt collection practices by many debt collectors. I'll be the first to tell you, debt is an illusion. There is no such thing as debt. 18 U.S.C. 8, obligations or other securities of the United States includes bonds, certificates of indebtedness, national bank currency, Federal Reserve notes. Obligation, debt is an obligation, verbatim. Obligation or other security of the people? No, it doesn't say other people. Of the United States. Who's the United States? Who's the United States? Why do y'all got a license? Why do y'all got... We're going to really talk tonight. Why don't y'all got a non-citizen national passport card? Why do you feel that every corporation you establish has to be incorporated within any one of these states. Why aren't everybody setting up private entities and private trusts? That's much love, brother. I'm going to go through that tonight. Mr. Elegance. Got that email, bro. This community, y'all. That's what it's about. I don't know everything. I'm going to definitely go through that, though, and the information I take from it, I'm going to definitely share with y'all. But I got a platform. I got a community of people. I don't even like saying following. I got an empire. I got a team that my message can move. It can move mountains. It's moving mountains. We chipping away at it, man, day by day. We chipping away at it. Right? Just like, this earth doesn't just shift right away, but it's ever shifting, slowly but surely. And what even is time as a whole? What is a year? What is who created that? And why is it 12 months? And why, when the turtle has 13, the number 13, though, they've tried to demonize and say it's bad luck, right? But there's 13 moons, there's 13 zodiac signs. We go off of 12, and every 4 years there's a leap year. It makes you think a little bit, right? Should at least. Financial protection. Important steps are being taken to help assure more adequate protection for the savings that prudent consumers lay aside for the future purchase of costly items, for the rainy days, for their children's education. More for homeschooling, y'all. Homeschool your kids. Understand that these institutions were set up to keep the next generations enslaved, to keep them thinking no kid deserves to sit in a classroom for 8 hours, 6 hours, and get 1 hour of not even an hour of recess, man. 30 minutes of recess and 30 minutes of lunch, an hour to socialize, and 6 to 7 hours sitting in a classroom. Where they're meant to be out there exploring. They're meant, if y'all need any homeschooling advice, reach out to me. My mother has been homeschooling for over 5 years. And come on, y'all. They give out a lot of money too. Everything is paid for, books, and they give out a lot of funds. Government gives out over billions of dollars every year to nonprofits, to grants, and it's just the access to it and the gatekeepers, man. But within our community, we're not gatekeeping this, man. We dropping I've texted out many times different grants for nonprofits, for businesses, for Black-owned businesses, for Native American-owned business, for minority business, for women businesses, for the list goes on. Name somebody that's out here giving at the rate we're giving. And let me know what y'all would love to see more of, and I would gladly give you guys more of what I'm able to, and things that I've done and things that have worked for me. I'm not going to give you guys nonsense now. Yep. Article 1, Section 10, the only debt is only made out of gold and silver coins or dollars backed by those. I got mine. It's 3 stars. I'm going to try again with a statement and using the certificate of live birth and the DS-10 affidavit. This is just a perception. Our mind and bodies age off that perception. 1,000%. 1,000%. That's why I just turned 25, right? 3 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago now. Jeez. Beginning of this month, September 4th. And I feel younger than I felt 10 years ago. I feel younger than I felt when I played college football. I felt younger than I felt back in high school, being an all-state athlete, being in top-notch shape. I feel I'm way more in shape and way more in tune with my body than I was back then. I may not be as swole and all of that, but I know I'd give myself a run for money back then, and shit, we was doing it pretty big, man. So you're only as old as you tell yourself. Now, I could easily go back and play. I've had thoughts of it, but I don't know. I feel like my mission's just a lot bigger, and I feel like just the time there is just so much time. Securities and Exchange Commission has undertaken the request of the Congress a major investigation of the securities market, which should provide the basis for later legislation and administration measures. More effective regulation. The independent regulatory agencies also report increased emphasis on programs directly helpful to consumers. The Interstate Commerce Commission, let's look them up. I never looked that up. Interstate Commerce Commission. What is that? Agency? Interstate Commerce Commission. .gov. No way. Crypto. Let me see. Interstate. Y'all gotta learn about crypto, man. Ben told y'all this the other live. I'm gonna read tonight. Alright. Anyways. Hey, this is enough of this document right here too. Let me share this with you guys too. In the Discord. Go ahead and unshare my screen and talk with y'all for a little. Let's talk a little, man. Any questions? I believe this was a very beautiful, insightful intro to consumer law. I'm going to show you guys a little bit more as well too, but I want to go ahead and answer any questions. My guy, Mr. Elegance, turned 25 on the 20th. Come on now. I love to see story times. Where did the root of your journey start? Sheesh. What did you send out? At 110 too. I was going to say you sent that at 111. You turned 25 at 111 though. My guy, Mr. Elegance, bro. You same age, bro. You definitely, it's frequencies, bro. You ahead of your time for sure as well. Let me see. And I believe that, yeah, and like just getting in tune with this type of information at a young age, it's the things that we had to go through and experience that led us to this point. And so I'm sure you've been through, the pain. I'm sure you've been through the rain, but no rain, no flowers, no darkness, no light, so we got to go through those dark times. We got to go through, the dark nights to enjoy the blissful, sunrises and sunsets. And, we got to just, truly look back and reflect on our life and see how it's always being divinely orchestrated. That's the only way that you guys truly can see as to how. So the journey's been, a journey. And I wouldn't even say so much a journey, but more so a voyage. Right? It's been a voyage. It's been an everlasting voyage. And a lot of people tell me, no, 1,000%. I already know it. I feel it, bro. It's all energy. He said, a lot of people tell me I'm an old soul. And so what I want y'all, my story, how long have we been here? 44 minutes. I want to keep it under an hour. So let's do a story time. Are you in our Discord? Let me know if you're in our Discord. What I'll do is I'll create a flyer. I'll have my assistants create a flyer. and we'll do a story time Q&A. Bounce around ideas. I want as many people to be in tune, but I also want to keep this video on topic for those that are new, getting in tune with consumer law. I'm going to show you guys. Excuse me. I'll show you guys a couple more things for the next 5 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and end it. But if you guys got any questions, please feel free to ask. Drop down below. Okay, you in the Discord most definitely. Absolutely, our past is used as a reference point to remind us where we started and keep us humble, 1,000%, and it definitely will, and it definitely does. And the only way you can connect the dots is looking back, man. So take time to reflect always and just see how, it's always happening to you. It's always happening for you. Excuse me, never to you. So when you guys go through things, see and ask yourself, what is this teaching me? What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this event? How can I grow from what is taking place in my life right now? All right, so let me show you guys this last thing. My phone's blowing up. So for those that are just getting in tune, I already showed you guys a good glimpse of consumer law, but I want to take you guys here back to Title 15, or really to U.S. Code. So it's more than just Title 15, y'all. If y'all want to learn, all y'all got to do is pull this up more about arbitration, which I highly advise. Read more into depth with Title 9. If y'all want to learn more about bankruptcy and bankruptcy rules, Title 11. Banks and banking, Title 12. Everything, a lot of things, and all of these debts deal with banks and banking. Commerce and trade, Title 15. Y'all got copyrights maybe on the music space, movies, contract law, right? Copyright, right? Indians, indigenous, right? Although pretty sad in terms of the laws that are in place for the indigenous people and the little to no power that they have, which I all should look into is patents. I'm learning more about Title 25 myself. My uncle actually worked with the Indian Affairs in Washington, D.C., and helped get our tribe nationally restored. And I mean, yeah, that's really what led me to this point, honestly, bro. Not, so much that, but specifically understanding that as I went on a voyage, right, a holistic voyage from Mother Earth, I went on a mushroom journey, and it just led me to seeing who and how my life was being. Like I said, I played the sports, and with the sports, I went to nationals, top ranked athlete all throughout high school, from a young age, since 9 years old, played against blah, 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 and blah, 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 that's dominating present day, all in the professional, organizations, the NFL, the NBA, the two sports I played. They'll tell you firsthand, the things and, the work that I used to give them, etc. Like I mentioned, all state, had scholarships to go play at the next level. That was my goal, but, and even throughout all of that, a lot of pain, a lot of, trials and tribulations and things I had to overcome. And, having 2 surgeries in high school on my shoulders, and playing with torn shoulders in high school to, it goes on. But after that journey, after that voyage, I just realized that how sacred the land is. And I realized, there's still so much, to it. We'd be here all day if we talked about just that voyage and that journey alone. And even then, like, words I can't really put into words the downloads that I received, but I know. But seeing and knowing that, you know, that the way that this land was taken from our people was through these treaties, was through these contracts. And I believe the same way that we're going to get back this land is by being able to properly understand these contracts and properly having the right paperwork and patents and, you know, knowing about. Let me tell you guys this. My brother just sent me this not so long ago. He's calling me too. Y'all always call me when I'm live.
Gang, you still live?
Yeah.
Okay, I love you.
Wait, what's that one thing? What's that one law you were telling me about? The with the indigenous people.
Yeah, give me a moment.
The doctoring of discovery.
The discovery of and doctrine.
All right. Bet.
Did you find it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. I love it.
All right, love you, brother. Let me share it with y'all. All right, I still gotta go watch it myself fully. I fell asleep on it. I'm gonna drop it in my sauce with Gotti. But Title 15's got way more than just, and I mean, so yeah, my journey, my fault. I mean, yeah, once again, like understanding that this land was taken from our people through these contracts in which they agreed to, and you know, they promised us all of these things, gave us, you know, all of these things from where they're from, and ultimately ended up backstabbing us. You know, a lot of our people end up getting diseases, which diseases were never there. Even in the Amazon present day, you know, the tribes there, they don't have sicknesses and diseases because they are in tune with nature. They're in tune with Mother Earth. They're in tune with, you know, the herbs, you know, that heal. And, you know, there isn't no cancer in the Amazon. There isn't no any of these things in which we see present day. And, you know, that's how our ancestors lived as well, too. But how our land was just taken was once again through these contracts and these treaties, and you know they can, you know, go against these treaties at any time. And one thing about my tribe is that my tribe is the only land is the only let me see is the only land that is actually owned by an indigenous nation. Every other indigenous nation is by treaty, or it's by treaty, and all these treaties can be trumped by tomorrow if they wanted, by tonight if they wanted. Ours has a patent on it, and it's owned outright by our people, the Pueblos of the New Mexico. That's why I highly advise all of you guys to go through New Mexico and learn the history of, you know, the indigenous tribes there. And there's over 21 tribes in our nation, and you know, even the Choctaw, the Cherokee, and all of these tribes, you know, they don't own their land, right? So any of the Sioux, you know, no other nation owns their land outright as ours does. Um, and it's important. That's why I want to teach our people the rights that we possess, especially as indigenous people. You know, so that's kind of what's led me to learning and teaching and educating y'all on consumer law. And you know, I've wanted to work specifically with, you know, indigenous tribes, but you know, it's, you know, kind of hard when their programming is so bad that, you know, you try to help your own people and they look at you oftentimes as an outsider because you may not live on the land. You know, so there's the inner battles that, you know, you still fight, you know, on the path to enlightenment. But you know, you got to do what you can do, and when the timing is right, it'll, you know, it'll definitely present itself. And so, you know, I just got to continue to show up and give back from my ancestors and make my presence felt and known, and you know, it'll definitely be felt and known. You know, so when it's all said and done, we're gonna be leading our people to the light. So yeah, I mean, coming here, those that are, you know, consumer law 101, you know, and this is where I'd recommend starting. The start of Title 15, Chapter 41, which is Truth in Lending. Right, this was passed in 1968. Right, so like I mentioned earlier, the article from John F. Kennedy, 1963, early 1960s. So it took a little bit of time before these were passed, but they were passed. And, it's the informed use of credit results from an awareness of the cost thereof by consumers. We're talking heavily about consumers. Like he mentioned, we are consumers, and as consumers, we possess and hold all of the power. That's why consumer law is so vital. And that's why I teach it, is because we're in a corporation, the United States corporation, so we got to know who we are as consumers and how to assert ourselves throughout this corporation. And so Congress finds that the economic stabilization, right, the stability of the economy would be enhanced, and the competition among the various financial institutions and other firms engaged in the extension of consumer credit would be strengthened by the informed use of credit. If we were properly informed about the use of our credit, that's why, they don't teach us what they do teach us, what we should be taught. That's why they don't teach us about anything about credit in school. But they'll tell us about and teach us about, the Pythagorean theorem and things that aren't going to be applied in one's everyday life. They don't mention anything about debt and the definition of debt, or about credit. They don't mention and teach you guys these things because they want you to drown in debt. When if we knew the true definition of debt, which I'll take you guys here really quick, and then we're going to end out the call here. The true definition of debt is an obligation, any obligation. So think about anything you've been obliged to do, right? That's debt. Debt isn't just something that's monetary. Debt is any obligation. That's also jail, right? And all of these individuals that are being incarcerated, especially most of them are indigenous people. Most of them are, the people of color, the people of power, the people, the people, the warriors, right? And this is how they control the people. They, put the fathers in, these jails, and the kids in their schooling systems. And come on, y'all. It's a system. It's a system that's meant to keep us enslaved. Yes, we're not in chains physically anymore, but we're still in mental chains, and that's the worst type of slavery that there is. Or alleged obligations of a consumer, right? Or anytime you see this word "or," has power. There's so much power in the word "or." Anytime you have the ability to choose, that's freedom. Those that are incarcerated don't have the ability to choose. Alleged obligation. So it's simply just an allegation. If they allegedly state that I did this, y'all got to prove it. What's your method of verification? What is their method of verification for identifying and stating that you owe for these alleged debts? We got to know the verbiage within this. There's so much people out there that are looking and that mean well by helping others with credit, but they're not truly teaching and educating people on where the true power comes from and why we're actually able to get these accounts removed. So this is as to why, because we don't owe them anything. Once again, obligations are upon the United States. The United States is indebted to who? Not these countries. Why is it that? So credit repair is just the first step. These regulators are dispersing tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars for student lending failures. I've read through that one like pretty often. So let me go to recently. Let's go to another page. Random page. Earlier on this year, August. So let's look for some money. Paying medical bills from credit reports. I was supposed to make a video on that. What page is that? Page 3? Okay, not too far. Sues solo funds for deceiving borrowers and illegally extracting. We talked about that. 384 million distributed to 191 victims of Think Finance's illegal lending practices. Mic drop 1, 2, 3. All right, y'all. That's everything from me today. I appreciate all y'all tuning in. This was a great live. Thank you all for tuning in. If y'all got any questions, feel free to reach back out to us at 305-575-2843. I'm going to say it again. 305-575-2843, and me or my team will get back to you accordingly. Understand that we got tons of people we reach out to. So outside of that, get into our Discord, get into our public communities. We're doing the best that we can with what we have at hand. So come with the proper energy too, because a lot of y'all come with wrong energies, man, which don't make nobody want to help you. I got mine. Okay, he already said that. Thanks for sharing your story and growing up myself. I never really played sports. I kept to myself. I love technology and fixing things and still do. I love that, bro. Those false promises remind me of when Satan attempts to tempt Jesus with all the kingdoms and riches of the world. But instead of Jesus, we were there and we accepted and signed ourselves to slavery. 1,000%. Jesus said no prophet is ever welcomed in his hometown. That reminds me of in high school. I was on a field trip at a convention, and one of the speakers told us that the credit cards are evil. It showed us how programmed people are under the bank's agenda. Literally, people are so scared of credit and credit cards, and if you know the loopholes and know how to use them to your advantage, there's so much power in it. All right, family. Peace, love, and light. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We're gonna be back at it. Hope to see you all live and in person on tour. Tampa this Saturday, Miami after that. I believe Dallas is after Miami. After Dallas, we're going to be in Houston. After Houston, we're going to be, I believe, in Vegas. After Vegas, we're going to be in LA. After LA, we're going to be in San Fran. After San Fran, we're going to be in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm excited for that event. That event's going to be big. We're going to be from East Coast down south to the West Coast. We're going to be in Philly, come week 3, week 2, week 3. We're going to be in Washington, D.C. We're going to be all over, family. So make sure y'all are in tune with our movement. Check out the, book a ticket, tell a friend to tell a friend. I promise you guys are going to want to be in that room, and your friends and your family are going to want to be in that room as well, too. Much love. Peace.